Good morning. I am running a tad bit late today and a lot of other stuff, which, oh, and then I got some sort of weird little, what is that? It's like a wing or something in my hair. All right. Yeah, I wanted to pop on as quickly as I could. I got here a little late this morning. Um, I was beat yesterday. I don't know if any of you watched my, hold on, I'm trying to get this up on my other tablet. Switch accounts. They changed things on me. Anyway, I was in my other channel last night. I did my live sale and then all the stuff administrative afterwards to, get ready for shipping today. And I had done all that physical work yesterday in the studio, and hopefully I will film some of it today for my vlog tomorrow. I did not film the actual process, so I may have to just explain the process for anybody that's interested. I created a really cool room separator for the studio, and so I'm real excited about that. But my studio is a bit of a disaster right now because I had to move everything around, take down an entire display, and then find a place for that stuff. Not really a home, just a place. While I was doing it, stuff's everywhere. Good morning, Sharon. Hey, how are you feeling this morning? I know last night you were saying you were dealing a little bit with a headache, and I think you were worried about being sick too. So hopefully you're feeling well. So anyway, I woke up this morning and I kind of feel myself as a result of all that work yesterday. My back feels better. If you were watching last night, my back does feel better. I think it may have resolved itself during sleep. Plus, I stretched before I went to bed. Yeah, I don't know. I still may have to go see the chiropractor tomorrow just to be safe. Hopefully you can see me or not see me, hear me well. I have the microphone right next to me. I can put it in if we need it. My office mate is next door, but I'm on the other side of the room. So hopefully his conversations won't trickle in too much because I can't reach my white noise machine right now to do it. Um, Yeah, the eyes being red sounds like allergies to me. It really does. The allergies this year have been unbelievable. Um, so I did want to share with everybody this morning. I don't have a tidbit for you. I apologize. Like I said, things were just a little nuts, and I don't know where anything is. I mean, I can't get to anything in the studio right now. So what I did was I brought samples to show you for the classes that I'm going to be teaching at Stampaway in Cincinnati on August the 4th. It's the Thursday. I think that was the date that I discovered. Anyway, it's the Thursday. I'm teaching one at 8:30, I think, and one at 8:30 to 10:30, like 11, I think, or 11:30. So I have two of them. And I don't know what order they're in, so I apologize. Well, hey, Vintage Love and Nerd. Welcome. I like that name. That's great. One of the Let me move this closer. One of the classes is a cut and fold book sculpture class. And unfortunately, look as hard as I may, I did not find the sample for that class. It's very frustrating because it means I have to do it again and soon. So they have the sample. But I do have a sample of another similar. Do I drink coffee? Yes, I do drink coffee. I probably shouldn't drink coffee. Is that what you're telling me? Anyway, I have a sample for a similar book sculpting class, and I'll tell you the differences in case those of you don't understand what I mean by a book sculpting class. This is a folded book sculpture. This is not the cut and fold book sculpture. Um, the cut and fold book sculpture, actually, you can make the pages full so you don't fold down into them, or you can, whatever, but you're going to cut out things, and it can be much more elaborate and much more intricate with the designs than the actual folded book sculpture. So that's what I'm going to teach. It's a kind of a class where you're not going to get the project completed in the class because 2 hours really isn't enough time, and that's really all the time they give me there. But I will teach you how to set it up, how to determine a design, how to, lay it out in a book so you can do it again. And then we'll start on our book. So that's one of the classes that I'm teaching. The other class that I'm teaching is a class on trace monotype printing. And again, I couldn't find the samples for that. They're there somewhere. These, I think, are probably easier to find than the book sculpture. And I say that only because the book sculpture is probably hidden somewhere because it's really hard to lose a large book. Whereas the samples that I'm actually looking for the monoprint class are smaller and can be tucked in something. And I have a feeling that I might, strange as that sounds, might be able to find them easier. So the samples for the class are actually singles. This sample, hey Jazdilla, Jazdia, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I was reading from my tablet, which should actually, whatever, I make too many apologies. I'm just sorry. Anyway, this book, and it's an altered book, takes several monoprints, trace monoprints, and incorporates them into the book. So there's a whole bunch of them, but I'll show it to you anyway. I dabble a lot. I'm a mixed media artist, but probably my forte is in altered books and journals. I just haven't really done them in a while. I've ventured off into oil painting. You name it, it gets my attention, and I want to learn how to do it, and I want to try it and whatever. But altered books are probably where I really got my start. Hence the magazine that I published. If you don't know, I published Altered Arts magazine for 10 years. So that was all based on pretty much altered books and mixed media collage on different things. All right. So this is the cover of the trace monoprint book. Now, not everything in here is going to be a trace monoprint. This is not a trace monoprint. Good morning, Rebecca. This actually, I believe I put, and this is older, so it's hard to remember sometimes. I believe that this is texture paste through stencils onto the cover that I then painted. So this is the cover, and it's fun. I used a book and highlighted the title of the book, and then I just painted the rest of the cover. And I'll show you the whole book, but I will highlight what was actually trace monoprint and what wasn't. So these are the first few pages. I did stencils, and I wanted it to look like foliage off the beaten path. So there's several different pages there at the beginning that I've cut out to look like foliage. All right, this is the first. I'm looking to see if I have any white paper to put behind. I think you'll be able to see it. This is the first trace monoprint. Now, this particular one, and all of them, I believe, are from, let me check my tablet to see if it's focusing well enough for you. It was done off of a picture that I enlarged, and I increased the contrast on it so I could really see the contrast. And what I did was I used the technique that I'm teaching to transfer the image in a printing, it's a printing technique. So I transferred that image onto, this is I'm trying to get it so you can see it better. This is like a trace paper, tracing paper. And I kind of like it because I do have something behind it that you can see through the page. So that's kind of cool. Hey, Julie, thanks for coming. So that was a trace monoprint. And while you can't see it on camera, behind it, I have a map of, I believe that's of the park. And so that kind of shows through the monoprint a little bit. And I don't have every page in this book decorated, but I have, like this one has a title on it, and so I decorated that page. And I don't think I've ever shown this on my channel, so that's why I'm going through every little page. Let's see if I can find. And then here I did a cutout of 2 leaves, that's a punch. And behind it is another trace monoprint. And again, this is of the park system here in Ohio. I live near the Cuyahoga Valley National Park, and I absolutely love it. So all of these are of places that I adore. So that is also from a picture, but look at the detail that you can get in this technique. And again, I said that, well, I might not have said it to you guys, that the technique, this trace monoprint technique, is a great way for people who don't really have any talent or don't think they have any talent, excuse me, to get a very painterly, a very artistic look to what they're doing. So it looks like you're very talented. And then this is the next page, or next spread in the book anyway, so I stenciled over there. This is, again, from a picture. And I used the technique here, and I printed that off, and then I colored in. I believe I colored all of these with colored pencils. And then behind that one is, oh, I left that in there because I like that. And then there's a another thing from the park system. Thank you, Julie. And then here's another page with another of my favorite places in the park, in this building. Then I kind of repeated the same idea from that last one on the other page. And then here is yet another one. So if you guys are anywhere near or are willing to travel to Cincinnati, Ohio, like I said, it's the first Thursday of August. It is in person. It's an in-person class. I'm not really sure how they're doing it. My classes don't usually get huge anyway. It's a stamping convention, and while they like the variety, and there's a lot of people that go to the rubber stamp convention that really enjoy the alternatives to stamping for classes, mine don't bust at the seams. So and they usually give us pretty big rooms. So if you came, you could spread out. I'm sure there would be plenty of room for you to spread out and feel safe. And I am one of those anxious people, and I will feel safe being there as well. So that is the first Thursday in August. You can go to Stampaway USA, and I got in here late, so I didn't even think to write it down, but Stampaway, so stamp away USA.com, and you will see the link there for classes. You can register from their site. Hey, Maria. Yeah, and check that out. So I actually have to do some traveling to get there. Cincinnati's about 3.5 hours away from my house. So I'll be traveling down there and staying, and then doing my classes there on Thursday morning. So I hope to see some of you there. That would be awesome. And if you're interested and you want to look back, I don't know exactly where it is in my list. My art channel here has way fewer videos than my vintage channel. So it shouldn't be too difficult to find, but I believe, because I taught this at another convention a number of years ago, I should have the original samples shown earlier on my YouTube channel if you want to look back for that. So that's what I was going to show you this morning. And like I said, I'm hoping to film a little bit of my progress today on the reorganization of my studio, because I am hoping to actually start doing a few little pop-ups here I like to keep my weekends open for sourcing, but I am going to try to maybe do a Saturday pop up, and then maybe just now that I'm dividing my space here in the studio. I'm dividing it from um, the retail showroom vintage stuff to my studio where I work and my shipping, so that I can do shipping that's kind of behind a wall. And so if I am here working, I could put out, a sign and direct people up here to come in and take a look at what I have, even while I've got stuff strewn all over the place while I'm shipping. Up until this point, I have done the shipping in the open area of my studio, which was right smack dab in the middle of the showroom. So that's kind of where my thinking is. And but I really am happy with what I did as far as this partition that I made. And I would like to show you some. Hopefully that'll be posted tomorrow. If it's not posted tomorrow, I'm hoping it should be posted Saturday. And yes, Maria, these are things that did not sell yesterday in my sale. So yeah, this is a Lillian Vernon napkin angel. Isn't she beautiful? And she's still available. Like I said, she did not sell last night. But where are you at, Jessie? Ohio is open. Ohio is open, and I guess maybe at least my area. I haven't really traveled elsewhere in the state, but pretty much there's no mandates, at least from our state government anymore. Those are gone, and everything, all the restaurants, everything's back at full capacity. So, yeah, okay, New Mexico. That's a place I've always wanted to visit, New Mexico. I think it seems to be a very pretty state. Yeah. And I left actually last year in the height of the pandemic, because I went to the Comfy Trusty meetup in September. I guess that wasn't exactly the height, but yeah. So trying to get out, trying not to be paralyzed by fear. I'm done so much better than I was at the beginning of the pandemic last year. So yeah. How much for her? She wasn't offer up, but I think I can do a set price on her at 18. I didn't see that, so thanks, Sharon, if you're interested. Since April 14th of this year, Julie? Oh, you're in Canada. I'm so glad. I feel so bad for you guys up in Canada. Personally, here, I wouldn't have stood for that. Just that's just me. I feel so bad for you guys. Anyway. Thanks, Sharon. Maria, you want her. Yeah, she's beautiful. There's no chips or cracks or anything on her. She's in exceptional, I mean, she's, in great condition. There may be a little teeny pieces of color loss on her, but mostly on the bottom where you're not even going to see her. Yeah, she's very pretty. Pretty. Yeah, I'm looking forward because I actually live, I'm looking forward to the border being open and everything because I live not too far away from Ontario. So I know there's a whole bunch of vintage thrifter people up in Ontario that I would like to, visit with. I could take a trip up there, go see Dee in Niagara Falls, head on over. Yeah, it would be fun. I'm looking forward to that eventually, but not trying to wish the time away either. Oh, that'll be fun. Can I call you nerd? I'm like, what do I call you? Vintage Lovin'? VLN? I'll call you VLN. How's that? Yeah, I would love to, Julie. That would be a lot of fun. Yeah, I was gonna go visit Dee at some point, and I was gonna go a while back, and then she had just had the COVID shot and didn't feel well, so that didn't materialize. And thank you, Sharon, for typing it in. And now she's gonna have surgery, and that's Dee from the Thrill of the Thrift, if I didn't mention it already. So I'm not sure when we'll get there. I'll call you Cheryl as long as I can remember it. So bad with names. It takes me a little while. I'm worse with faces. I have a thing. It's a thing. I won't go into it too long and hard, but I do have a facial recognition issue. It's not extreme, but it just really takes me forever to associate faces and names. Like everybody to me looks like somebody that I probably have seen before because I just assume that I have met people before because I don't recognize the faces. It's awful. But, you know, I have coping strategies. I get around it. Anyway, so all right, guys. Hey, that is all that I have for you today. I did want to show you that art, and I will get back on the tidbits. I may wind up actually taping them because as we're getting into the height of summer here, I'm tossing around the idea of having oh, that's funny, Jazz. Yeah. I'm tossing around well, the problem is if I can't remember the face, then I can't have the name to go with it. And my brain files them in 2 different locations. So if I do remember that usually I can remember if I've seen somebody before, but I have absolutely no other information. But that's part of the reason why I think everybody looks familiar, because it's a long story. But the other information is filed somewhere else. And so it's really funny. I can talk to somebody and they'll be a stranger to me, even though I know them, until I make the connection. And it opens the file that's stored somewhere else in my brain. And all those things come back. And I can literally, like if we talked about their cat one time, that stuff comes back to me. But it's this weird connection thing and you know, the recognition. So it's very strange. Okay, Maria. Cool. Yeah, you know what? Those notifications are bizarre. I was in the Antique Nomads premiere last night, and he said to everybody to hang out because he was doing another one. And I saw the link in the original video of the next premiere, and I wound up leaving the chat for some reason. I went and did something else, and then I went back to try to find it, and it wasn't there. And I had to go through all kinds of weird gyrations trying to find, because no notification popped up for me that it was happening. And yeah, it's bizarre. Same weird. But anyway, I'll keep talking. I'm wrapping it up, and I will keep finding stuff to talk about. So anyway, so yeah, what I shared with you today were the classes, trace monotype printing, and cut and fold book sculpture, both happening at Stampaway convention in Cincinnati. And if you've never been to Stampaway convention, it's not just the classes. There are 2 days of classes, and then there's the convention, and there's a preview party that Friday night as well. And I have always enjoyed rubber stamping conventions, because even when I was just a scrapbooker, and then as I've transitioned more into a more art type thing, because they do an awful lot of demos and things, and they're usually some sort of a technique that I can pull away from there that I can use in something else. So if you've never been, it's really cool. There'll be vendors there with products, mostly geared towards rubber stampers, but they have things that you can use. And rubber stamping isn't just about making cards. So if you are not a card maker, don't worry about that. There are other things to do. So anyway, that's my little plug for them. I hope you check it out. Again, Stampaway USA. .com, and that's at the beginning of August. So all right, thanks everybody. Thanks for coming. I really appreciate you a lot. If you're new by chance, do make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell, and I will see everybody the next time. Bye.